Okay, this is my food storage thing, part 3. Just to let people know, what I'm doing here is trying to get 1 year's supply. I do already have that in water, so what I'm doing with this little shelf over here is just storing some basic items. But the most items will be over here on this shelf. Let me walk you up and see what I have here. If you look at the macaroni and cheese right there on the top, that's 6 rows deep, and then I've got some instant potatoes there, and then here I've got a whole bunch of Jello. That's 1 row deep there, and then some drink mixes and some jelly and some sugar over there. Down on the bottom, there's the chicken bouillon down there, probably enough to make 200 cups of soup or something like that. And then I got the cremette ring noodles. The reason why I got them is because they're real easy to cook, and if you're ever out in the field you could bring them with and they cook real quickly. So anyway, these ring noodles are 4 rows back, and then this one here is 2 rows. And then of course I got a little bit of ramen. I don't always like the taste of ramen, but I got it anyway. And then down on that shelf there, you'll see that some little hot dogs over on the far left-hand side. Them are, see, 3 rows deep. Then I've got 100 pack of tea. Peanut butter is 3 rows deep. Tuna fish is 3 rows deep. Mixed vegetables that I have from here all the way over to here. Them are 3 rows deep, and then down here I've got some mixed fruit and stuff like that, and that's 3 rows deep. And then the beef stew cans, them are 2 rows deep, and then the beans over there, them are 3 rows deep. What I often do is I've got some Miracle Whip, so what I do is I use this with tuna fish and Miracle Whip and make meals out of that. Sometimes I'll take the tuna fish and I'll mix it with the macaroni and cheese, so that kind of helps out a little bit. The reason for this shelf too is I wanted some dry goods, because some of this stuff I can take out in the field, you know, camping or whatever. So canned goods are kind of nice because they're heavy, but they contain water. So for every can, like them cans there, for every one of them cans there's probably 5 ounces of water or more. So you get the water that comes with it. And on my list, I've got to get 2 more items that store for a long time, and that would be like beans and rice, a whole bunch of that. But I know it doesn't look like really big, the shelf here, but it's actually, I planned it out and it's like 4 or 5 months already. So, and I only contribute $50 to $100 extra each month. So this is my 3rd month of the project. So I've got, I'd say, only $300 into this, I think. So you can see I've got a lot of stuff, and I always try to buy the generic brands if I can, you know, them white label cans. Try to save money as much as I can. But the thing that's cool about it is I got my carbohydrates, which is macaroni, cheese, and the noodles. I got my protein, peanut butter, tuna fish, and the beans over there. So the beans over there down in the far bottom there, that would be protein. And then for vitamin C, because you need fruit and stuff, so I've got fruit down on the bottom, canned fruit and stuff. So, and then vegetables. So yeah, I've almost got all the food groups except for the milk group. I do have some dried milk. I'm not real crazy about dried milk, but maybe I'll add, you know, a few boxes of dry milk to this pile I got here. A thing that's cool is these little desserts here, little boxes of Jell-O. They were like 30-some cents, so I decided to buy a whole bunch of them in every flavor. So I thought that'd be cool to do that. Anyway, I'm not an extreme survivalist, but I do believe that if something should happen, like let's say we had a year where we had to adjust to the new dollar, or if the dollar completely gets wiped out and our money's no good anymore, during that time when the government's figuring out things, it might be a year where you might be paying, say like for that can of vegetables right there, cost me 67 cents. I was trying to get them 2 for $1. I couldn't find them, but you can see even the cheap ones, you can't even get 2 for $1. So like I was saying, if something should happen, this right here, like for instance these canned vegetables, let's say that oil goes to $200 a barrel, and somebody predicted that it would go much higher. It would add to the food cost, and think about going to the food store and paying like $5 for one of them cans. That'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it? Well, no sense to wait for the mad rush. Might as well just stock up right now. And it doesn't matter your income. Even if you only got $10 extra a month to put to your pile, you can afford to stock up on something. For example, if you had, like, let's say you only got $10 a month, which is $2 a week, almost anybody can afford that. You could get these for $2. There's a 12-pack. And since I eat a lot, one of these would last me 2 days, you know, for all 3 meals or whatever. But for instance, if you bought some of these, you know, $10 a month, like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, you can get 5 of these every month. And then if something catastrophic happens, you could live off of just ramen if you wanted to. Just ramen and Kool-Aid, like over here, which is the popular low-budget foods. But anyway, some college students really love living off that stuff. They get real extreme. So, and I've got some bread in the freezer. I paid 79 cents for the bread, and I bought like 20 loaves, I think, and I froze them. So I got my bread taken care of. Once again, if something happens, you know, like I said, if something happens, this thing of ramen right here, which is a lot of food for $2. I realize most of it's water, but that thing there, $2, could go up to $20. And you just don't know. You just don't know. I mean, think about it. If your gas goes up to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $10 a gallon, then obviously the food will, because the semis have to transport the food. And they're not going to do it, you know, unless they get paid what they want to transport it. And obviously their fuel cost is going to be more, so it's going to cost more, no matter what the retailer is. You know, whether it's Walmart or anybody, when fuel prices go up, you know, it's going to hit the food market too. So, and this is a valuable asset, because even if you are low income, this asset here is guaranteeing you that if you extreme ration this, it could last you for up to a year. And you might be more wealthy than some people just because you decided to stock up and supply and take care of your needs. So, and thinking about people that might have gold or silver, well, there's a lot of trouble with gold and silver. Is what happens if nobody will take the silver or gold. You know, what are you going to do? Give them a bar of gold and expect change back? You know, somebody might rob you, you know. And why leave your house to go trade your bar of gold when you can have this supply here, so that you don't have to go out and get supplies? That doesn't mean there's nothing wrong with buying gold and silver, but I think that if you're lower income, I think you need to supply yourself with what you need to survive. And what you need to survive is, majority of it is food. That's what keeps you living. I mean, you could build yourself a tent, you know, and you could have all these dry goods, you know, and I mean, the cans obviously would freeze in the winter, but you know, if something should happen, you've got all these supplies here. So, and the other thing is your survival kit. I've got one of them too, a car carry video where I show you my car carry kit, where all my stuff is, and I actually carry a tent with me and some things like that too, in case I've got to live outdoors somewhere. But anyway, something to think about. Once again, doesn't matter, you know, you want to invest in gold and silver, that's fine, but you know, when you're on a low income, you got to invest in food items.